We are on air. Hey, good evening. Control, please, ladies. Good evening. This is Rosalind Court. My name's Morag Butler, and this evening we have Suthering. Yay! So everybody in here, you're all in the raffle because you bought a ticket. People at home, if you take part in the chat, or even better, if you donate during this concert, you will be put in the raffle. And what would you win? You would win one of Suthering's CDs, or a Who Gives a Crap toilet roll. Yeah! Yeah, fantastic. Now, normally at this point, I sing a song. I'm going to do one in a minute, but I'm going to introduce onto the stage Ali Campion, who is a friend of mine from a long time ago. We met when we were on a Maddie Pryor course at Stone's Barn in Carlisle. And and we sang together then. We've kept in touch ever since. And so she's going to do a song for us now. Thank you. So, Ali Campion.
I'm a bit worried about the toilet paper. There we are. It might come in handy. Just hang on to it just in case. Well, we had a lot of fun with Morag. Pete, my husband, and I are going to do a song together in the second half. And I don't usually do stuff by myself, so this is a bit brave. Anyway, this is by Gretchen Peters, American singer-songwriter that I'm sure some of you will know about. And she writes some beautiful songs. So here we go. This is called Love That Makes a Cup of Tea. We'll give it a go. There is love that moves a mountain, love that beats a drum. There's love that fights for justice, knowing justice won't be done. There is love that goes to prison, love that goes to war. There's love that rows a lifeboat towards some shining golden shore. And there is love that makes a cup of tea, asks you how you're doing and listens quietly, slips you $20 when your rent's behind. That's the kind of love I hope you find. There is love that shouts its name out loud, love that builds a wall, but love that stoops to conquer isn't really love at all. It's an echo in the darkness, a well that can't be filled. It's an endless hall of mirrors, but it only sees itself. But there is love that makes a cup of tea, love that loves both who you are and who you want to be, love that waits for you when you fall behind. That's the kind of love I hope you find. There is love that moves a mountain, love that builds a wall. That's wrong. There is love that moves a mountain, love that beats a drum. There is love that fights for justice, knowing justice won't be done. And there is love that makes a cup of tea, us both who you are and who you'd like to be. Love that waits for you when you fall behind. That's the kind of love I hope you find. That's the kind of love I hope you find. I haven't done a cafe.
Oh, good. Yeah, glad you didn't need the toilet paper. That could be unpleasant. Right. Hey. Last week I played the keel roll. Remember? Well, this week I'm singing a song that mentions the rowing, the keels. It's very quick, don't worry. You can go and make a cup of tea at home or something. Yeah. Have you seen out, oh my bonny lad, and are you sure he's we? Oh, he's gone over land, we're sticking his hand, he's gone to all the Yes, I've seen your bonny lad. 'Twas on the sea I spied him. His grave is green, but none twig grass, and you'll never lie beside him. Have you seen how my bonny lad, and are you sure he's we? Oh, he's gone over land, we're sticking his hand, he's gone to all the second in the run of Newcastle songs, and if you're not good, I'll sing you the Lambton Worm next week. 27 verses plus chorus. Yeah. Okay, so it's time for us to introduce to the stage Suthering. Yay! You can give me the
Snow white seagulls say, oh, I may. Seagulls say, where thou left them, white seagulls. nesting. Horen yeli o grief within my heart is nesting. Back to back they lie, lifeless lie, breath nor sigh from their gold lips coming. See rack their shroud, and their harps the sea sad crooning. Horen yeli o horen yeli grief within my heart is nesting.
Hello. Good evening. Hello, all the way down there. Hello to everyone at home. It's an absolute delight. Whoops. God, what's happening?
What is happening? As Heg was saying, it's an absolute delight to be here.
We have been so excited about this gig. We love coming
When
here.
did we come here? 2022?
I think so.
Is that right, Morag? 2022? Yeah. And we absolutely fell in love with all of the people here and the place and Margate. We're obsessed with Margate. We wish that it wasn't so far away. We live in Tavistock in Devon. Does anyone know where that is? Well, yeah, you'll know that it's the opposite side. Yeah.
But we fell in love with Kent in our 2022 tour, and so whenever we come back here, we get very excited. That first song was the last song on our new album, so we're gonna play things in a kind of muddled up order tonight. So that's the only traditional song that we've put on the album, and it's called Seagull of Land Under Waves, and it's from a book called Songs of the Hebrides, which was collected by Marjorie Kennedy Fraser. And this collection of songs is all sung from the perspective of women, mostly work songs. And that one was sung from the perspective of the women stood on the shore when their men went off to sea, often never to return, and they're calling to the seagull, saying, "Where is my love?" And the seagull is calling back, saying, "Their souls live on under the waves." So that song we felt connected with a lot of the other songs on the album. So we're going to play it in a backwards order, but we are going to play you the whole album tonight.
We promise.
Oh yeah, so the next
I was
song.
like, Heg hasn't looked at the set list. She doesn't know what's
Do
coming
you know what?
next.
This is the penultimate date of an 18-date tour. And I would
Gig
like
17.
I would like to say that I think our minds are somewhere floating along the M4 somewhere. And they'll catch up eventually, but maybe not
maybe
tonight.
A303. We left them there.
Yeah. So this song is called Threads, and it's all about relationships and how we connect with one another, and the kind of cycles we get stuck in, the negative cycles sometimes, and how we try and meet each other in the middle, but sometimes we just miss the mark. And it's all about how we mend the fractures between us. So Threads.
Sunrise covers the trees in golden. We are awake to try and catch the sun, turn it into threads. Stitches cover the cracks, we wove them. We are just trying to get by the river we're walking, I'm hoping we find our way. Circling back to the same old ground, maybe this old land will lead the way. Maybe we'll grow if we lay our souls down and see this is no battlefield. Circling back to the same old ground will never heal. Needle and thread, in and out, over and over, and needle and thread, in and out, over and over, and needle and thread, in and out, over and over, and needle and thread, in and out, over and over, and down by the river we're walking, I'm hoping we find our way. Circling back to the same old ground, maybe this old land will lead the way. Maybe we'll grow if we lay our swords down and see this is no battlefield. Circling back to the same old ground will never heal. Circling back to the same old ground will never heal.
Thanks very much. So quiet in here. You're so polite. What's going to happen? Usually what happens when the audience is polite is in the second half it starts to kick off. Giving us a false sense of security. Sometimes we did a gig in Penzance in 2022, and we had a heckler there. And when we went back recently, we were hoping he'd come back, but he didn't. We were very disappointed.
It was quite exciting when he first started heckling. It was over some chickens, actually, unusually. And he first started heckling. Me and Heg were like, oh my goodness, what is going to happen tonight? This has never happened. He obviously, he didn't come back. So that's so, if you feel the need to heckle, we do welcome it. I'm going to tell you a little story now. About my granny. So she features a couple of times on the album. She was very instrumental in my upbringing. My mum was a single parent of me and my two sisters. My dad lived abroad, so she was sort of very much the sole parent. And my granny lived really nearby, so she helped bring us up. And she was a really amazing storyteller. She was a very interesting woman, and she'd had a really fascinating life. She was a massive storyteller. She had stories that were really funny, and she had stories that were incredibly rude. And she would normally save those for like maybe when the vicar would come round for tea, and she'd say something that everyone would just be like, "Oh, Granny, why'd you do it?" But she also had loads of really interesting stories about her time in the war. And she wasn't 18 when the war began, and all of her brothers and sisters, all four of them went off to war, and she was left behind, and she was desperate to go and do her bit. So as soon as she turned 18, she signed up and became an ambulance driver in the war. And there were so many stories of that period of her life. But the one that really stuck with me is that she fell in love with a Polish man. My family that side of the family are all from Devon, and they were a farming family. And my granny was home on the farm having some leave, and this Polish man, a naval officer, was sent to her farm because he had some leave and he couldn't obviously return to his own country. So he went over there, was working on the farm with her, and they fell madly in love and got engaged. And they spent this time there, sort of fleeting time in the grand scheme of things. And off he went. He was posted away from Plymouth and never to be seen again. It took her a long time to find out what happened to him. And it struck me because I can't imagine being in a position of saying goodbye to someone that I love and them not coming back or not knowing if they're going to come back or not. So I wrote this song about it. And then years later, after my granny had died, my uncle Peter sent me a load of recordings that he'd made of Granny telling all of her stories, which was so fantastic that he made them. They're very precious to me. And I was listening to them all, and the story came up of George, and I said to Heg, come and listen to this. This is where the song comes from. So I was listening to this story, and she was saying everything I remember. And then my Uncle Peter says to her, so Grace, what happened to George? And she said, oh, I don't know, darling, I dumped him. And I was like, wow, well, that's a bit different, Granny. And I've got absolutely no way of finding out what actually happened because you're now no longer with us. So I was like, that is absolutely classic of her. She told me the story when I was a very romance-filled teenager. So who knows whether she was telling me what I wanted to hear, whether she was telling the tape what it wanted to hear. I don't know. But she always said, never let the truth stand in the way of a good story, and I fully admire that. So I decided that this song should go on the album, and when we did our live shows, that I would tell the story of what exactly happened so that you all just get a little tiny insight into what my granny was like. So this is Normandy, and it's written about the story that she told me. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
We'll hear more from Granny later on.
We're getting a tiny bit of feedback still on the stage. Yeah, thank you. I think we've got one more song before Morag has an event. I'd just like to say how much we love Morag. And Chris, obviously. But Morag's a woman of our hearts. Yeah. And we would especially like to point out this. We are also bloody difficult women. So this next song, Julie wrote a really long time ago when we first started writing music together, playing music together rather, in 2018, and we arranged it and spent a long time on it. And actually, this was the first and only time that Julie's written something on the guitar. It started life on the guitar, and then I wrote an arrangement for it on the piano. And we then totally forgot about the song until we were putting the new album together, and we were listening to old phone recordings. And I was like, oh my God, this whole thing that we'd spent months working on. And so it happened to fit with everything else we were doing for this album. So here it is.
So it's based on the tradition of lighting candles and putting them in windows. Has anyone heard of that tradition? Yeah. So in the kind of fishing villages around Devon, it's really it's very an old tradition where people would put candles in the windows to either guide their loved ones home who were out on the sea, or for those that were lost at sea, to guide their souls back to the right place. And we played a gig in Brixham recently, and they said they still do that when the fishing boats go out. I don't know whether that's something that happens here, but I think it's a lovely tradition. And I have a lot of family that live in Sweden, and my dad's there and my sister. I've spent a lot of time there. And in the darker months, they also light candles and put them in the windows. And it's a kind of to create this sense of safety, but it's also to do with this kind of idea of guidance. And I just love it. And I love that it's something that happens in lots of different countries and lots of different places. So it kind of inspired this story. I had this image of a fishing village sat on the top of a cliff with the waves crashing at the bottom. And there's all of these cottages have got candles in the windows. They've all got loved ones who went out to sea and didn't come back, who've been lost at sea. So they're all hoping to guide their souls back to the right place. And one night there's a storm and the wind sort of whistles through the village, and on the wind they hear the calling of the sea, and the sea is whispering to all of them, we have your loved ones with us down in the waters. Come, bring your candlelight down to the water, and I'll reunite you with your loved ones. So they all walk down with their candles to the seashore, only to find that the sea has every intention of claiming their souls as well, the tricky old sea. So I basically took something really lovely and turned it into something really dark.
She folked it.
I folked it right up. And so I suppose we don't actually play a lot of traditional stuff, but this is like our little nod to the tradition, isn't it, Heg? Yeah. So this song's called Down to the Sea. Red was the setting sun. The earth echoed with the war had begun. All your lovers lost across the sea, and not to return they believed. They'll not come home to marry you. They're lost in the dark, lost in the cold of the sea. They'll not come home to marry you. They're lost in the dark, lost in the cold of the sea. A candle for each lover gone, a candle to guide his soul home. Oh, foul whispers were heard on the wind. They carried the call of the deep. Said they've come home to marry you. They're here in the dark. Your lovers wait down by the sea. Said they've come home to marry you. They're here in the dark. Bring your candlelight down to the sea.
with me. Walk in the water with me.
There's a couple of notes to end on. That's brilliant. Okay, Alan Cole is very keen to heckle, but he hasn't heard anything contentious yet.
Well, it's coming up.
And Mingulay. And we know, boys, candles glow, boys, in the windows of Mingulay.
Nice.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so, hello. Now, thank you to all the people who've donated from home. That's absolutely brilliant. If you're thinking about it, anybody else, here's an idea for maybe, something that you could send to us, money. That Suthering's latest CD is called Leave the Lights On. So what I was thinking was perhaps you could send the equivalent of a contribution to the electricity bill, sort of around about £5 is lovely. Anything more is fantastic. Anything less is also good. Thank you very much. That would be really, really brilliant. Now, I've got a table behind me full of CDs and tote bags and T-shirts and tea towels and also CD, I think there is as well. Where can the people at home who aren't actually in the room, where can they buy your merch?
They can go to suthering.com and there's a link to our Bandcamp page from there.
Well, that seems quite easy. Get yourself there already. Yeah. Christmas is coming. You've got all these presents to buy. It's, great. Okay, right. I'm going to push off now. Carry on, Suthering. Thank you.
Thanks, Maura.
Well, somebody would they couldn't hear anything contentious. Well, that's now. We're going to talk about some righteous feminist rage. Yes! Every single gig we've done this tour, there has been one fist pump in the audience, which brings us great joy. So thanks for that. So this song is inspired by an article that I read. I love reading about archaeology and ancient history, and thanks to my dad, who I believe is watching. Hi, Dad. This article is all about some Viking warrior bones that were found in Sweden on top of a hill. And for a really long time, they were presumed to be male bones. And a couple of years ago, they did some DNA testing on the bones, and they discovered they actually belonged to a woman. I was reading this article, I was like, yes, a Viking warrior woman, how brilliant, what a badass. And you'd think that was where the debate ended. But no, the debate continued, and I believe in some circles still continues. Well, probably she was buried with a man, and then they took the bones out of the grave at some point, because what was she doing with an axe?
Women don't need axes.
Don't
Come
need
on.
swords?
Just need a tea towel.
So I just thought that was outrageous. I really did. Oh, and actually somebody at the gig last night told me that after there was another set of bones, the same situation in Norway, and it took them 100 years to correct the records. For God's sake. So that'll be on album number 3. But I felt that this warrior woman had been done such a disservice that she deserved a song. So this is my tribute to her, this amazing warrior woman. And it's called Warrior.
honor her and her matchless deeds, for she was a warrior. Hear the sound of the horses' feet, cut a run, make a thunder. Lords of air flying loose into the wind, she'll take you under. Living bones play a rhythm on the horse's back, steady drum, make a thunder. With the reins, eyes of steel, embrace the night, she'll take you under. And we will fight for our bones to carry our name in the final resting place, with no one sharing our grave. And we will fight for our name to carry its weight in every battle that we face, in every corner of this place. Hear the sound of the horses' feet, cut a run, make a thunder. Locks of hair flying loose into the wind, she'll take you under. Living bones play a rhythm on the horse's back, steady drum, make a thunder. With the reins, eyes of steel, embrace the night, she'll take you under.
Thank you very much.
We whilst we were touring a couple of weeks ago, we talked on the subject of archaeology. I've already Heg's enthusiasm for this subject has inspired me to talk about this stuff with you guys. So basically, a couple of weeks ago, my great uncle Sandy Irvin's foot was found on Mount Everest. Has anyone heard of the story of Irvin and Mallory? So 100 years ago this year, my dad's uncle, so my great uncle, Sandy Irvin and Mallory set off to go and conquer Everest. And no one knows if they made it to the top and were on their way down when they disappeared, or whether they were on their way up. So it's this great mystery. It's kind of overshadowed my dad's generation because they were brought up by Sandy's brother, who was very young when Sandy disappeared, and was it was this sad mystery that this 22-year-old had just sort of disappeared. But anyway, recently, his foot was found on Everest, and I saw my aunt last night, and she met the guy who found it, and he said it was not like finding a needle in a haystack. It was like trying to find a needle in 1,000 haystacks. It was pure luck that this foot was found. And it had Irvin, the tag Irvin sewn into the sock, which was quite macabre and weird. But anyway, what was fascinating is that my cousin Julie said that his mother lit a candle and put it in the window for every single night that Sandy was missing until the day she died. And I just thought, God, that's just really tied that into everything that we're doing. And I first told this story a couple of weeks ago when I first found out about it. And this guy came up and he was like, you need to write an album about this. I was like, I've just written an album. Thanks very much. Sorry, Hag, yeah, we've just written an album. And I was like, I don't really know what angle to go for. So there will be a song in the next album about it, and I promise it won't be about a foot. It might be about a foot.
Who
I
knows?
don't know. We'll see.
Anything can happen. So we've just got one more song, I think, before a break.
No, we've got more. Yeah, because Laura's going to go into the raffle.
I don't know. It's date 17. I don't know whether I'm coming or going.
It's true. What happened in Penzance?
Oh, well, yes. Sorry?
It should do.
It should do, but unfortunately for the characters that we meet, we have decided to be a bit more brazen on stage and kind of share some of the things that we get told. And after we played the Warrior song, a man came up to us in Penzance. It seems to be the scene of a lot of events on our tours. He came up to us and he said, well, I think your Viking warrior woman was probably like Margaret Thatcher. And I said, do you? How come? And he said, well, they weren't very nice, those Vikings. She probably did some horrible things. I said, oh, well, I don't think that was the point of the song. And he said, well, something to think about. So I did think about it, and I thought that's quite a funny story, so I'm going to tell everybody I meet at the next date.
And don't be put off saying weird things to us, because we're running out of things to talk about for the spring tour. So we really encourage people coming up and doing weird things.
And actually, this is a good point to say that we get asked often if we are sisters. So I'll just get it out there in the room. No, we're not sisters. We're a couple. And there was somebody that came up to us at a gig in the summer, and he said, first he said, I like the song about the light. And we said, oh, thanks very much. That's really nice. And he said, are you sisters? He gave us this look. And we said, no, we're not sisters. We're a couple. And he said, a couple of what? I was like, that is it. That's it. We're not being asked that question again. So there we go. It's out there. You don't need to ask. We've just got the same hair.
Yeah. So if anyone's confused or worried, you're welcome to also come and talk to us during the interval, and you will probably be featured in album number 3. So we're going to play you now a song which is the first song that we recorded for the new album. And we recorded this album with Sean Lakeman. Does anyone know Sean and Catherine? Really lovely. He lives just up the road from us. And we sort of knew him a bit already, and we said, do you fancy working together? And he was keen. So we were like, let's just try recording one song, see how it goes, and then we'll figure out whether we're going to do an EP or an album. So we went into the studio and recorded this one, and we just loved it. Creatively, we were on the same page. He had loads of really interesting ideas, and it was just a really good collaborative time. So we were like, let's do an album. So this song I wrote around this time of year, and it's to do with the descent into the darker months once the clocks change. We'll talk about it a little bit more later on, but around the time where I was writing this song, it was after the winters became associated with some pretty dark times, and also with the COVID lockdowns. And I'd always struggled a little bit with the movement into the darker months. I struggle not to see it as a long dark tunnel, and all of those things together just made it worse. So I decided that I didn't want that to be what defined me with my relationship with the winter. So I sort of wanted to think about all the beautiful things that you find in the winter, like the low light that you get from the sun as it sets in the winter, and how true darkness allows you to see the beautiful stars, particularly where we live by Dartmoor. So I was looking for these really lovely things, and it's a song of hope to kind of say, let's just hold on through these dark times, look for the beauty, and everything's going to be okay. So this song's called Ghosts of Winter.
All the time
Starlight replaces the sun in this differing light. We change. Heavy's the blow of the cold, and heavy's the chill of the night. And when I think of winter, it feels like I'm falling. It feels like I'm losing the light. And when summer starts fading, it feels like goodbye. And I'm wondering how many times can this heart break? Hold on. Oh, the tide, now it has come. Will it be like the ones past before? Or will the warm light of the low winter sun replenish these weary old bones? Or will the old ghosts of winter pause for a moment, a fleeting glance? Will they carry away the cold? Will they carry my heart back to you? Or will they hold on to me? Will they hold on to me? Or will they hold on to me? Will they hold on? Or will you hold on with me? Will you hold on with me? Or will you hold on with me? Will you hold on? Let's hold on.
Thank you so much. We're going to just nip back to the first album for one song. And this song leads on really nicely from that one because Julie wrote that one during the COVID, the aftermath of COVID, really. And this song was written during COVID. It's the only song I managed to write during COVID. We tried our best to, write a novel and an album and all the other things that people did during COVID, but mostly we just sat on the sofa watching Netflix and getting well acquainted with our wine delivery man.
Such a lovely man. I think we've made a real lifelong friend there.
Yeah, he used to come to the door, and it didn't matter who answered the door. He'd say, "Well, hello, Julie." And we were always just so pleased to see him that it didn't matter if he didn't get my name right.
He was
Anyway.
confused with the curly hair, wasn't
He
he?
was,
That's
yeah.
it.
Anyway, this song I wrote along the canal path by our house, and I wrote it over a series of weeks, maybe even over a couple of months. And this canal path is one of my favourite places to go. It runs along the canal and through some woods, and it's a spectacular place to see the different seasons. And in the spring, the bluebells are amazing, and this autumn in particular has been absolutely spectacular down there. And it was the kind of repetition of this path, and still is actually the repetition of going there daily, that feels like a bit of a sanctuary almost. But the best thing about this path, especially during that time, was the kingfisher, who would visit almost daily and really, really frequently. And actually, it's quite an elusive bird usually. And I had never seen one before, and I was having a really difficult time during that first lockdown. And the first time I saw it, I was just completely and utterly transfixed. And he plays this game where he'll swoop, or she, onto a branch, and then just as you get level, they dart off again. And regularly this kingfisher would do it all the way down the canal and then all the way back. And I just thought it was absolutely magnificent. And during that time, I was looking for something to hold on to. And that was a real symbol of hope for me. So this is Kingfisher.
Bright shone the sun on the cold of the canal, with a frost that cracked at our feet, and the sound of the chorus in the early morning dew, never knowing when we'll meet again. And oh, how the kingfisher swoops, playing chase with a flash and a dive. We are kindred spirits, he and I. Look to the water, look, can you see how the clouds are clear now? And the trees will start to grow, and the bees will have their day. And oh, how the heron finds a perch to look out and take it all in. We all need to breathe in. We all need to make a change, one that's rooted in the ground, and then spring will come again, lift us out. Somewhere in silence we can rest, find the answers that we seek, send the dark clouds away, let spring begin. Send the dark clouds away. Bright shone the sun, the water it mourns us, with time standing still. The kingfisher warns us. One day I came upon a girl, I asked her who she was. She said, I've lost my way and I'm looking for the end. And then she looked around and saw the water stretching on. She said, I'll take a look, what could be the harm? And oh, how we all wish we had a map that would take us straight to the end. We'll all wander in the end. We all need to make a change, one that's rooted in the ground, and then spring will come again, lift us out. Somewhere in silence we can rest, find the answers that we seek, send the dark clouds away, let spring begin. Send the dark clouds away. See it in a flash of blue, hope along the water flew. See it in a flash of blue, hope along the water flew. See it in a flash of blue, hope along the water flew. See it in a flash of blue, hope along the water flew.
Right, we're going to have a quick raffle and then one more song. And again. Simon Fuller. Excellent. You've got a CD.
We've got
Oh, and Esther Corrin, who hasn't actually turned up yet because she's stuck in traffic. Oh, but she's going to come for the second half, so that's good. Yep, great. Thank you. One more.
one more.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. When we the perils of doing touring, we did that song a few weeks ago, and we interchanged some of the songs from the first album just to mix it up, and we decided to play that song. And I had an absolute blank on one word on stage. We're playing the chorus. I said, "Find the something that we seek." Don't know. So I was kind of find this. Like this down there. And I can feel Julie slightly sniggering on the inside. I thought, don't worry, it'll come back to me by the second chorus. Nope, still wasn't there. And after the show, I said, Julie, what is that word? She said, I don't know. No idea. Absolutely.
And I normally
idea.
sing it. I'd completely forgotten it.
No idea. Anyway, we had to listen to the song. Oh, yeah, find the answers. That's right. Because I had replaced it in the second chorus, I'd replace it with darkness, which totally changes the meaning of the song. Anyway, the next time we played it, I was like, oh, it's fine, we've got it now. The same thing happened. That word just dropped out. I was like, this is ridiculous.
We literally just now, we were like, right, if we play Kingfisher, we need to remember answers, 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 answers. So just stood there staring at each other going, answers, answers. You have to drill these things. On gig 17, it's all about drilling everything in. It's amazing what goes out of your head. You wouldn't believe it. So we'll finish this set on the first single that we released from the first album. So this is a song that I wrote when Heg and I decided to make the move from Bristol to Devon. We lived in Bristol for 10 years, and I was ready to leave probably 9 years in, and it took about a year to convince Heg to come with me. It took a few times of your wing mirror being kicked off your van, didn't it?
Yeah, I was furious by about, wing mirror 20. It's like, let's get out of here. And I reckon it was secretly Julu.
It was me. I was going out there in the middle of the night and just kicking them off every time, like, this'll do it. This is the one. This is the last straw for us. She's like, no, I'll just buy a new one. Anyway, so we decided to move to Devon, and it was a big decision. It took about a year to tie everything up and sort of decide how we were going to do it. And it was a really difficult time. It tested us, it tested everything. And I felt like during that time I had to really hold on to the reasons that I wanted to move, because I love Bristol and a lot of the people that I love and cherish are there. So this song was a kind of reminder to me during that time of why I was doing what I was doing and we were doing what we were doing. So it's all about letting go of the things that don't serve you anymore and holding on to the things that are important and become important, like nature and community, family. And it's also about looking for light and hope when everything feels slightly dark and chaotic. So this song's called Gather.
Unbridle your horse, let her run free. You're too young to tarry, let her run, let her run. Wild are the grasses, wild is the wind it brings changes, we're changing. Untether your boats, boys, let them sail out to sea. Unmanned and uncharted, sailing free, sailing free. Take from us these shackles, burdens and ties, the circling wings of a gull. It marks the turn of the tide. We're searching for light, light in this long, cold winter. Where have the seas gone? Bring us the spring. night in this long cold winter.
Where the sea
Go and bring us the spring.
the leaves turn to
Gold and then brown, like they always do.
but there's miles and
Miles
miles of cold winter deep in the heart of winter, with all that we've lost.
This winter we fight for the dawn.
We'll sow
Seeds for tomorrow.
oh, we will
Leave for you tomorrow.
flowers that
Bloom again tomorrow.
be wild and be free. We're searching for love.
Light in this long cold winter.
Where the sea
Go and bring us the spring.
the leaves turn to
Gold and then brown, like they always do.
but there's miles and
Miles
of cold
and
winter
miles
deep in the
heart of the winter.
with all that we've
Lost this winter, we fight for the dawn.
Thank you so much.
Julie Irvin and Heg Brignall, Suthering! Yay! Fabulous, thank you. Also like to thank Ali Campion, who did the floor spot. Thank you.
And Morag Butler.
And Jane on the door, Roger on the filming, John on the sound, G on the cameras and and Lizzie doing whatever you do with the internet in Galashiels, where she is, and then in her pinny at the bar, Una! Yay! I know, that is such an in-joke. For those who weren't here for the last 2 weeks, I've got her name wrong because she didn't come for a couple of weeks, and so I forgot her.
Happens to us all, Morag.
It happens to, yeah, it's yeah, exactly. I'll teach her to take time off. So next week we've got Sally Ironmonger and Brian Carter. Whoa, fantastic. Now the week after we were going to have Adam Holmes, but he's had a better offer, I'm afraid. And just because he was coming all the way from Edinburgh, he's decided to take that up. And you know, fair dues. So we've got a week. You've got a week off. You can do something else. December the 5th, Simon Foster and James Dean. December the 12th, John Bitham. Hey! And then on December the 19th and the 21st, we've got Tim Eady, which is rather good. It's rather good. Now, if you want a hint about why to come next week, Sally and Brian, they got wonderful catchy songs about the history of the area, wildlife, helpful hints on how to murder your partner, cheerful choruses about prostitution, and banking pirates. There's a great chorus about the banking pirates. It's very, yeah. What's not to love? Come on, get yourself along here next week. I'll see you here. This is Rosalind Court. My name's Morag Butler. Thank you very much. See you next week. Thank you, Suthering. Hey.